Remember, at this stage in life, even small daily choices like which nuts you snack on can mean the difference between protecting your health and quietly harming it. 2. Brazil nuts, the selenium overdose. If cashews are a quiet danger for your kidneys, then Brazil nuts are a hidden threat for your entire body chemistry. These large, smooth nuts come from the Amazon rainforest and are often praised as one of the richest natural sources of selenium, a mineral that supports thyroid health, immunity, and antioxidant defense. On the surface, that sounds like a blessing. Many health magazines even call Brazil nuts nature's selenium supplement. But here's the catch. When it comes to selenium, more is not better. In fact, even a small serving of Brazil nuts can push seniors into dangerous territory. One single Brazil nut can contain anywhere from 68 to 91 micrograms of selenium, which is more than the entire recommended daily intake for adults, 55 micrograms. That means if you eat just 2 or 3 Brazil nuts, you're already at nearly 200 to 300% of your daily needs. Seniors who snack on a handful, thinking they're protecting their heart or brain, may actually be slowly overdosing on selenium. Excess selenium causes a condition called selenosis. Symptoms include fatigue, brittle nails, hair loss, nausea, and in more severe cases, heart rhythm disturbances and nervous system damage. For seniors who may already struggle with fatigue, weak hair, or irregular heartbeat, these symptoms are easy to miss and often get blamed on just getting older. In reality, it could be the Brazil nuts. I remember Mr. Collins, a 72-year-old retired engineer who proudly ate 5 Brazil nuts every morning because he'd read they were good for the prostate. Over several months, he developed persistent fatigue. His fingernails began to crack, and his wife noticed his hair was thinning rapidly. Blood tests later showed selenium levels far above normal. Once he stopped eating Brazil nuts, his symptoms slowly improved. The scientific evidence is clear. A review in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition highlighted that selenium has a U-shaped curve of benefit. Too little increases disease risk, but too much can be just as harmful. With Brazil nuts, the danger is that the line between enough and too much is razor thin. And here's the problem for seniors. Metabolism slows with age. Kidneys process minerals less efficiently, and medication interactions can make selenium toxicity worse. That means even just a couple of Brazil nuts eaten regularly can quietly damage health over time. So what's the bottom line? Brazil nuts may look exotic and healthy, but for older adults, they're simply too concentrated to be safe. Unlike other nuts where a handful offers balanced nutrition, Brazil nuts deliver a megadose of selenium that the aging body cannot handle. If you enjoy their flavor, save them for a very rare treat, no more than 1 nut on occasion. But for daily health protection, skip the Brazil nuts and look to safer, more balanced nuts that provide their benefits without the toxic risks. Remember, not all superfoods are super for seniors. Sometimes what seems like a small healthy habit can quietly chip away at your strength and independence. 3. Pine nuts, the nut that can spoil your taste. Pine nuts are often seen as elegant. They show up in gourmet salads, fancy pasta dishes, and of course, pesto sauce. Many seniors view them as a refined, heart-healthy nut, often more expensive than peanuts or almonds. And it's true, pine nuts do contain healthy fats and some valuable nutrients. But here's the surprising danger. A certain variety of pine nuts can cause a strange and unsettling condition known as pine mouth. Pine mouth is a taste disturbance that develops a day or two after eating some pine nuts. People describe it as a constant metallic, bitter taste in the mouth that lingers for days, sometimes even weeks. Every bite of food, even sweet fruit, tastes unpleasant or metallic. For seniors, this isn't just annoying. It can ruin appetite, reduce food intake, and lead to unintended weight loss, nutrient deficiencies, and even dehydration. I recall Mrs. Jensen, a 74-year-old retired nurse who began adding pine nuts to her oatmeal because she'd read they were good for the heart. Within days, she complained that everything she ate tasted like metal. She lost interest in meals and dropped nearly 6 pounds in just over a month. Her doctor eventually traced the problem back to pine nuts, specifically a batch from a grocery store that sourced from a variety linked to pine mouth. Once she stopped eating them, her taste slowly returned to normal, but her strength took weeks to recover. Scientists believe pine mouth is caused by a specific species of pine nut, Pinus armandi, which is sometimes mixed in with edible varieties in bulk packages. Most seniors I meet tell me they eat nuts every day because they've heard they're heart healthy. And that's true. Nuts can be powerful medicine. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. Not every nut is good for seniors. In fact, some of the most common nuts, the ones you probably see in every grocery store aisle, can quietly raise your blood pressure, upset your digestion, or even increase joint pain if you eat them regularly. But here's the exciting part. While some of these popular nuts may be working against you, there are other nuts, less familiar, often overlooked, that can do the exact opposite. These rare and underappreciated nuts are packed with nutrients that can strengthen your legs, improve memory, reduce nerve pain, and even protect your heart in ways that the common nuts simply cannot. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, and for more than 20 years, I've helped seniors use food as medicine to stay strong and independent. And today, I want to guide you through both sides of the story. First, the 5 worst nuts you should never touch, the ones everyone thinks are healthy but can quietly harm your body. Then we'll uncover the 5 best nuts you should be eating every single day. Unique, less well-known nuts that carry powerful benefits most people have never even heard about. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which nuts to avoid and which ones to add to your daily routine. Some of them will surprise you, but I promise they can make all the difference for your nerves, your circulation, and your long-term health. So, let's begin with the very first nut on our list. It looks creamy, tastes mild, and shows up in trail mixes and even in milk alternatives. Many people believe it's harmless, even heart-friendly, but for seniors, it carries hidden risks that can quietly damage your kidneys and joints. I'm talking about cashews. Cashews are one of the most common nuts in the American diet. They're creamy, versatile, and often marketed as a healthy choice. You'll find them in trail mixes, stir-fries, dairy-free milks, and even as a smooth nut butter. Many seniors pick cashews thinking they're gentler on the stomach than peanuts or more affordable than walnuts. But here's the truth. Cashews may be one of the worst nuts for older adults because even small amounts can create problems for the kidneys, joints, and overall metabolism. The main issue lies in oxalates, natural compounds that cashews contain in high amounts. Oxalates combined with calcium inside the body, forming sharp crystals that collect in the kidneys. Over time, these crystals can develop into painful kidney stones. For younger people, the kidneys may manage the strain, but for seniors whose kidney function naturally declines with age, even a handful of cashews a few times a week can be enough to raise the risk. I think of Mrs. Harris, a 69-year-old retired librarian. She believed she was eating smart by replacing her evening cookies with a small bowl of cashews. Within a year, she developed recurring kidney stones that left her doubled over in pain and visiting the emergency room more than once. When her doctor traced the problem, cashews turned out to be the hidden culprit. Once she cut them out and switched to safer nuts, her stones stopped forming. Cashews are also a hidden problem for seniors with gout or arthritis. Their high oxalate content can trigger joint pain by promoting uric acid buildup. Seniors who already struggle with stiff, inflamed joints may notice their discomfort worsening when cashews are part of their routine. And then there's the calorie trap. Just 1 ounce of cashews, about 18 nuts, contains 160 calories and 12 grams of fat. For seniors with slower metabolism, those calories add up quickly. Gaining even a few extra pounds increases the burden on the heart, raises blood pressure, and puts more stress on already vulnerable knees and hips. Another overlooked risk? Most cashews are sold roasted and salted. That extra sodium is dangerous for anyone managing high blood pressure, swelling in the legs, or heart disease. Even the unsalted versions don't eliminate the oxalate problem. They just remove the salt. Scientific evidence supports these concerns. Research in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology confirms that oxalate-rich foods like cashews are a major driver of kidney stone formation. Doctors often recommend that patients over 60 with a history of stones or kidney issues limit or completely.
Another overlooked benefit is immune support. As immune function naturally weakens with age, kefir's probiotic profile helps regulate immune responses and reduce chronic low-grade inflammation. Many seniors report fewer digestive infections, better regularity, and improved energy when kefir becomes part of their daily routine. How you choose kefir matters. Look for plain, unsweetened kefir made with whole milk and clearly labeled live active cultures. Avoid flavored versions, which often contain added sugars that cancel out kefir's benefits. A small glass with meals, blended into a berry smoothie, or mixed with oats or chia seeds is more than enough to deliver benefits. For seniors over 60, kefir is not just a beverage. It is a daily gut-up, supporting bone-protecting, inflammation-calming ritual. And next we'll move to another milk that closely resembles traditional cow's milk, but offers far greater benefits for digestion, joints, and brain health in older adults. The third milk that can genuinely support health after 60 is unsweetened, calcium-fortified almond milk. When chosen carefully, this is one of the safest and most practical options for older adults in the U.S., especially for those dealing with joint pain, blood sugar instability, or digestive sensitivity. What makes almond milk beneficial at this stage of life is what it does not contain. Unsweetened almond milk has no lactose, no inflammatory A1 casein protein, and virtually no natural sugar. For seniors whose digestion has slowed and whose insulin sensitivity has declined, this dramatically reduces the risk of bloating, glucose spikes, and chronic low-grade inflammation that quietly damages joints and brain cells over time. But the real value comes when almond milk is properly fortified. High-quality brands are enriched with calcium, vitamin D, and magnesium, a trio that works together to protect aging bones and muscles. Calcium provides the raw material for bone strength. Vitamin D ensures that calcium is absorbed effectively. Magnesium supports muscle contraction, nerve signaling, and balance. After 60, deficiencies in this trio are extremely common and are a major contributor to fractures, cramps, and falls. Another overlooked benefit is vitamin E. Almond milk is naturally rich in this antioxidant, which helps protect cells from oxidative stress. In older adults, oxidative stress accelerates joint degeneration and cognitive decline. Adequate vitamin E intake has been associated with better memory retention and slower age-related brain changes, making almond milk a quiet ally for long-term brain health. Unsweetened, fortified almond milk is also metabolically gentle because it is low in carbohydrates. It helps keep blood sugar stable, an important factor in preserving muscle mass and energy levels after 60. Stable blood sugar reduces fatigue, prevents midday crashes, and lowers the risk of progressing from prediabetes to diabetes. However, this milk is only beneficial if chosen correctly. Many almond milks on store shelves contain added sugars, gums, and artificial flavorings that undo these advantages. Seniors should always choose versions labeled unsweetened and check that calcium and vitamin D are clearly listed on the nutrition label. A short ingredient list is a good sign. In daily life, unsweetened, fortified almond milk is easy to use. It works well in oatmeal, smoothies with berries, chia pudding, or simply as a light afternoon drink. It hydrates, nourishes, and supports joints without burdening digestion. For seniors over 60, unsweetened, fortified almond milk isn't just a substitute. It's a strategic choice for reducing inflammation, protecting bones, and supporting brain health. And next, we'll move to the final and most powerful milk on our list, the one that looks familiar, but is fundamentally different on the inside. The fourth and most powerful milk for seniors over 60 is A2 whole milk. On the surface, it looks just like regular cow's milk. It pours the same, tastes familiar, and fits easily into daily routines. But inside, it is fundamentally different. And that difference matters enormously for aging bodies. The key is the protein type. Most conventional cow's milk in the U.S. contains A1 beta-casein, a protein that has been linked to digestive discomfort, joint inflammation, and cognitive fog in older adults. A2 milk, however, comes from specially selected cows that produce only A2 beta, a form the human body has consumed for thousands of years and typically digests far more smoothly. After 60, the gut lining becomes thinner and more sensitive, and stomach acid levels decline. This makes seniors more vulnerable to inflammatory reactions from hard-to-digest proteins. Clinical studies show that older adults who switch from regular milk to A2 milk experience significantly fewer digestive symptoms, including bloating, cramping, and heaviness. But the benefits go well beyond digestion. When inflammation in the gut decreases, the entire body benefits. Seniors consuming A2 milk have shown lower inflammatory markers, improved joint comfort, and better mental clarity compared to those drinking standard milk. This is critical because chronic low-grade inflammation accelerates bone loss, muscle breakdown, and cognitive decline. A2 whole milk also supports bone and muscle health more effectively. It provides high-quality protein for muscle repair, along with calcium, vitamin D, and phosphorus for bone strength. Because A2 milk is easier to digest, seniors are more likely to absorb and use these nutrients properly instead of losing them due to inflammation or poor digestion. Another important advantage is the fat content. Choosing whole A2 milk, not low-fat, helps the body absorb fat-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin D and vitamin K2, both essential for directing calcium into bones rather than arteries.